understand they have located another squad. Our strategy remains the same. Cut off the head of the snake, and the body dies. We will win this war. It's only a matter of time.
No, we're here for Alpha the Resonator. Come on!
Yo, what's going on guys, it's Abs here and welcome back to another Gears of War 10 Facts video. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about the most badass boss in the history of the Gears of War franchise, General RAAM, who was voted by yourselves to be in this episode. And if you want to vote for the next COG character, then be sure to head on straight to the community tab of my channel after this video so you can vote for the next COG character. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to not miss another 10 Facts video or any Gears of War content on the channel. But yeah, let's dive straight into the 10 Facts of General RAAM. So fact number 1, for years the creature of the Hollow began exhibiting mutations. This was due to the fungal parasite emulsion that was capable of infecting, hijacking and mutating its host. Soon, members of the Locust Horde began becoming infected and an epidemic soon followed, and thus initiated a war against the Lambent in 7 BE, so 7 years before Emergence Day, as the Lambent Locust were either trying to kill or infect all living things they could find. So RAAM himself spent 1 year as a drone fighting in the Lambent War, but before proving his skill and intelligence, elevating him to the Throne Guard. During this time, RAAM had quickly proved himself to be even stronger and smarter in the elite unit. But for unknown reasons, RAAM was cast out of the Throne, who at the time thought his ideals were pure lunacy. Despite this, RAAM eventually earned the rank of VOLD and led their bloodied vanguard against the Lambent. Sometime during this, he became close friends with Scourge, a Cantus shunned by his fellow priests for his visions, and forced to join RAAM on the battlefield as his second in command. He also became rivals with fellow VOLD Khan, due to the two's conflicting views on the Lambent War and leading their respective blights. But just a bit about RAAM, he was a quiet but merciless warrior, earning the favour of Queen Mira herself. He was intelligent, methodical and calculating, as seen by using a captured Gears radio to eavesdrop on the COG during the light mass offensive. He was ruthless and merciless, despising the humans and Lambent as much as everyone else in the Horde, if not more. As brutal as he is powerful, RAAM chooses particularly unpleasant ways of killing humans unfortunate enough to meet him personally, such as lifting them up by their skulls and then beheading them with his serrated sword. But fear was not part of RAAM's vocabulary. Even when Marcus Phoenix and Dominic Santiago cleared the Tyrol pillar of his forces, RAAM alone stood his ground and fought to the bitter end. However, General RAAM, he did not know when to retreat, and this was evidenced during Operation Midnight. So for fact number 1, that was a bit about RAAM and some key facts about him, but I'm gonna dive straight into the beginning of his journey in the Locust army. Fact number 2. As the Lambent War waged on, RAAM envisioned a life without fear and war, and thought that colonizing the surface and leaving the Lambent in the hollows to drown would allow for him and his species to live in peace. During his daily visits to the surface of Serra, he was the first of the Locust Horde in near a century to see the human race, or groundwalkers as he referred to them. Over time, he saw how the various armies of humanity waged war on one another in the name of territory and resources, a flaw the Locust did not have. This warped RAAM's views of humans, hating and believing them undeserving of the surface, and had plans to conquer Serra and wipe them all out. Fact number 3, during one battle with the Lambent, they lose Gorgon Front, an outpost to the abominations, and only through explosives were they able to repel them at the cost of the outpost. After the battle, RAAM has Scourge tell their troops of his visions, boosting their morale. Then RAAM showed a confused Scourge the human city of Janamont above the Hollows, and revealed his plan to lead the Locust armies to the surface, exterminate humanity, and claim the surface for themselves. Though Scourge cautiously reminded him of UZIL Sraak, who would kill them both for even suggesting it, and that fighting humanity would be a battle on both fronts. RAAM is undeterred and convinces Scourge to trust him, with the latter even offering to convince the Countess of their plan. So RAAM and Scourge take their case to Sraak, who is unwilling to even hear them out, despite both RAAM and Scourge presenting evidence that the war with the Lambent is lost. But RAAM tries to speak with Queen Mirror, and Sraak doesn't let him and refuses, causing the former to attack him, only for Sraak to brutally beat RAAM up, leaving Scourge to take him away to safety. RAAM got his ass handed to him there. And though when Scourge asks what he had to gain from trying to fight Sraak, RAAM reveals that he had not been trying to convince the general, but rather Queen Mirror, who he knew had been hiding in the shadows listening to RAAM's assessment. With their task completed, they head back to their post, and though Scourge remains skeptical on why RAAM believes the Queen would even remember the meeting, RAAM reminds him that Mirror cares about their people and would not take his warning lightly. Before they can ponder a bit more, they are attacked by a corpser which was sent by UZIL Sraak to execute them both. So fact number 4, despite realizing they now had little to no chance of convincing the Queen now, RAAM is undeterred, and after giving yet another speech to his soldiers, reveals his plans to involve Khan and Kita Vrol as well, who is the High Priest of the Countess, in their plot. Eventually, Vrol realizes that RAAM and Scourge are right and agrees, and RAAM convinces Khan on his plan as well. Fact number 5, before going to the Locust Council meeting, RAAM meets with his old Theron comrades. While initially expecting them to denounce him, they reveal that they also see the truth in RAAM's plan and hint to support him when the time comes, causing RAAM to laugh as he enters the meeting hall. Here, RAAM and Scourge are able to present their case, with Vrol backing them up to Mirror, who is shocked that their reports are so different to Sraak's, who tries to threaten RAAM as the council argues, accusing him of deliberately setting recent events in motion. Before he can go on, a wounded Khan barges in, slightly worrying RAAM and Scourge. Khan reveals that RAAM is right in that the Lambent are slowly winning, and that their people are doomed. This causes Mirror to lash out at Sraak, who is embarrassed at this point. She then questions RAAM on how he intends to win the war, causing him to reveal that he plans to lead their army onto the surface and destroy humanity, taking the surface for themselves and flooding the hollow with seawater, therefore drowning the Lambent. So the Queen thought about this, and after consideration, Mirror agrees with his plan and promotes RAAM to UZIL, therefore demoting a humiliated Sraak to RAAM's former rank of VOLD as punishment. She then orders everyone but RAAM to leave the meeting hall. She reveals to her new general her planning with a human who had promised a solution to the Lambent but failed to deliver, who is obviously Adam Phoenix, which is forcing her with no other choice but to invade the surface. Mirror reveals that she has known of RAAM's plot since the beginning, and that while she agreed with it, she was waiting for him to take action. But before he can react, Mirror threatens RAAM, choking him and forcing him to understand that while they both wish the same thing, trying to dethrone Queen Mirror would result in RAAM's death, leaving a gasping RAAM to prepare for war. So after RAAM had that conversation with Queen Mirror, he meets up with Khan, and RAAM says to Khan that Mirror has agreed to invade the surface, but Khan questions RAAM on how it felt to be in the Queen's presence, with RAAM saying that it felt strange and how Khan could not comprehend it. Khan reveals to RAAM that he has dreamt of slaughtering humans for some time, despite not knowing their appearance, and is elated when RAAM comments they would be easy to kill. Despite their good mood, Khan also reveals that his men had been slowly losing the expansion hollow for some time, and his belief that the Lambent were not mindless monsters, that they were being led by something, and not knowing what made it impossible to destroy them. RAAM agreed with Khan's assessment and promoted him to the rank of Zamil, and informed him that he would lead the destruction of the Republic of Goraznia. So basically RAAM, he earned the respect of the Queen, but the Queen reassured him that, look, I'm still the boss, to ensure RAAM doesn't have any ideas of dethroning the Queen. And he had a good relationship with Khan as well, so he promoted Khan to Zamil. Fact number 6, let's fast forward to Emergence Day, where Raam meets up with Scourge, who informs him that Ukon agreed to assist them in exchange for allowing him to use the humans as test subjects for his modified corpses. The two then lead an army of Locust up to the surface, ready to destroy the coalition of ordered governments, with Janamont being their first target. They ambush a group of Gears in a training hall, killing most of them, with the last survivor being personally executed by Raam. Scourge approaches Raam and cautiously reminds Raam of his vision, that Raam would not survive the war, though the UZIL is not fazed by this, instead revealing that he intends for Scourge to succeed him should he perish. They then successfully led the attack on the base, efficiently slaughtering any Gear soldier in their path. As Raam and Scourge revel in their victory, they are suddenly attacked by a crazed former UZIL, now VOLD, Sraak, who is determined to kill them both regardless of Mira's orders, and challenges Raam for the right to be UZIL once again. Raam accepts and the two fight. Sraak quickly gains the advantage due to his armor protecting him from all of Raam's attacks, and even prepares to kill Raam by strangulation. But Raam manages to kick clear and signals two nearby Theron guards, and the two Theron guards shoot Sraak with their torque bows, destroying the chest piece of his formidable armor and seriously wounding Sraak. So Raam, mocking Sraak on how his reliance on his armor has become his downfall, Raam proceeds to tear out Sraak's heart with his bare hands, killing his former superior. So in their second fight, Raam actually took Sraak out, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. So Raam then reveals to the two Theron guards that he had anticipated Sraak's bold yet reckless attempt at regaining power, and promotes the two Theron guards to the rank of Krav in return for their service. Raam converses with Scourge, thanking him for seeing Sraak's actions through a vision, though Scourge is quick to point out that despite dealing with the former UZIL, Raam would still not live to see the war's end. Raam is still undisturbed by this and offers his brothers in arms to join him in slaughtering as many humans as they possibly can before perishing. They then begin to lead their troops to destroy the surface. So basically, Raam wouldn't have been able to kill Sraak if it weren't for Scourge, because Scourge has visions. So Scourge knew that Sraak was going to have a reckless attempt at attacking Raam, and Scourge also notified Raam that he would not live to see the end of the war against humanity. So Raam knew this, and he wasn't fazed by it, because he just wanted to kill as many humans as he possibly could, and then he wanted Scourge to replace him once he died, which is absolutely crazy. So for fact number 7, I'm going to be talking about the evacuation of Ilima City and Raam's attack on the city itself. So 9 years after Emergence Day, Raam directed a Quill Storm to assault Ilima on the Jacinto Plateau as a stepping stone towards an attack on the Cog capital of Ephyra. 3 hours before the Quill Storm hit, Raam emerged in the centre of the city with 2 Mauler elites, Theron elite and a Tremor, which could summon Cedars that could ink out the sky. Mira spoke to him telepathically, ordering him to escort the Tremor to the first emergence point. Raam led his forces through the area around Ilima City Hall, crushing more Cog resistance, and they arrived at the final spot to summon the remaining Cedars. After clearing out the last of the Gears and modified, King Raven flew over the battlefield and dropped off 2 Silverbacks and dozens of Onyx Guard, who attempted to stop Raam and his bodyguards. After several minutes of hard fighting, the Onyx Guards were all killed, and 3 more Cedars emerged onto the battlefield. Mira congratulated Raam on his success and ordered him to move to the final spot to summon the last of the Cedars needed to completely darken the skies above Ilima City. So even the best of the best soldiers, the Onyx Guards, didn't have a chance against Raam and his soldiers. So when there were only a few minutes left until the Quill Storm hit, Raam led his forces to attack the Children's School of Hope, one of the last remaining areas in the city not under Locust control. So as his drones attacked the squad, guarding it from one direction, Raam advanced on the Gears from behind to catch them off guard. As he approached one of the civilians that the Gears were protecting, young Jay Stratton tripped on the body of a dead Gear as he tried to grab the Gears Lancer, and Raam picked him up by his head and prepared to stab him. But Jace kicked Raam in the face, knocking him off balance for a moment, and Private Alicia Valora knocked Jace out of the grasp and attempted to cut him with her chainsaw bayonet. Raam's armor protected him, and RAAM brought his knife up through Valera's stomach, killing her. This caught the attention of the rest of the Gears, who opened fire on RAAM. His krill shield protected him, but he fell back and summoned his personal Reaver, taking to the skies to continue his assault. So the Gears were able to close the holes and took advantage of whenever RAAM directed his krill shield away to fire upon him relentlessly. RAAM eventually had enough of this, and when his Reaver returned, he took back to the sky. As they assaulted the Gears on the ground, RAAM's flanking Reavers were eventually killed, and his Reavers were shot down as well. He crash landed behind the orphanage and his left leg was badly wounded and stuck. So as RAAM attempted to pull it out, Lieutenant Min Young Kim appeared in front of him, determined to get revenge for Valera. As Kim charged at him, RAAM managed to call a shield of krill to defend himself, but Kim continued trying to get through it. But Michael Barrick arrived and pulled him back just before RAAM directed hundreds of krill at them. RAAM watched, frustrated, as Zeta 6 and the civilians in the orphanage escaped, and RAAM was unable to stop them. Fact number 8. During the Coalition of Ordered Government's Operation Midnight 4 years later, RAAM led a squad of Theron guards in an attack on a Gear squad that was stationed on the Ferro Bridge, who were attempting to keep it open for a convoy to pass through. They advanced on the Gear squad, killing 2 of the Gears until RAAM and his Therons cornered the remaining Gears on one end of the bridge. When they were about to advance and overwhelm the Gears, 4 King Ravens appeared and opened fire on RAAM and his soldiers. RAAM jumped over the side of the bridge into the water below to escape while his minions were killed. He swam to the shore and watched angrily as the Gears succeeded in carrying out their mission and the COG convoy crossed the bridge. Fact number 9. When the COG launched the Lightmass offensive later that year, RAAM personally led the Locust counter-attack. He led an ambush of 2 Gears at the Tomb of the Unknown, intending to hunt down and kill the Gear leader. He isolated and personally killed the leader of Delta Squad, Lieutenant Min Young Kim, whom he recognized from Elima City. He ordered the other Locust to leave Kim to him and punched Kim right in the face before picking him up and impaling him upon his knife, staring into Kim's eyes as he died. RAAM then tossed Kim's body aside and turned his attention to the other Gears, but they had already retreated into the Tomb of the Unknowns. But following the retreat of Delta and Alpha Squad into the tomb itself, RAAM ordered the release of a berserker into the tomb to kill the survivors and prevent them from escaping with the sonic resonator. However, when that failed, he captured a Gear shortly after Delta attacked the Lethia Emotion Facility and used his comm device to discover the humans' whereabouts of the Lightmass bomb and its need for targeting data. RAAM then crushed the Gear's helmet and snapped his neck with a single hand, and acting on that intel, he sent forces to East Barricades Academy, where they attempted to prevent Delta Squad from obtaining Adam Phoenix's targeting data on the Hollows. RAAM personally set out to hijack the Tyro Pillar with armed forces as well, in order to capture the Lightmass bomb. While RAAM's forces in East Barricade failed to stop Delta Squad from obtaining targeting data, RAAM was able to take control of the Tyro Pillar, throwing many of the defending Gears off the high-speed train while they were still alive. So RAAM guarded the bomb while his soldiers secured the train and attempted to stop more Gears from boarding. But 2 Gears, Marcus Phoenix and Dominic Santiago, were able to jump aboard as it passed through Timgad Station. And fact number 10, RAAM stayed with the Lightmass bomb at the front of the train as Sergeant Marcus Phoenix and Dominic Santiago fought through all of his forces on the train, killing them and preventing the Locust efforts to stop the Tyro Pillar. RAAM confronted the 2 Gears at the head of the train, determined to stop them from reaching the Lightmass bomb and inserting their targeting data. RAAM held his ground, advancing on the Gears while firing a handheld Troika heavy machine gun at them and shrouding himself in krill. Reavers also attacked the Gears in support of RAAM, but a King Raven manned by Hoffman, Augustus Cole and Damon Baird prevented them from drastically interfering. RAAM was unable to kill both Marcus and Dom and was killed by them when they broke his shield of krill and shot him to death, avenging Kim and Valera's deaths. They left his body on the Tyro Pillar as it drove into the Emotion Pit and launched the Lightmass bomb into the outer hollows. So unfortunately, RAAM met his death But to the people of Sera, news of RAAM's death was met with rejoicing, but to the Locust Horde, RAAM's failure and death seemed to spell certain doom. With the destruction of the Outer Hollows, the Horde lost millions of drones and tamed hollow creatures, including the Krill, turning the tide of the war to the humans' favour and weakening the Horde's defences against the Lambent. But the Lightmass bomb also awakened a Riftworm, and RAAM's brother-in-arms, Scourge, was able to use the awakened Riftworm and lead a massive counter-attack against Jacinto City. Scourge seemed to use even more brutal methods than RAAM did, such as capturing gears and processing them. But yeah guys, that is 10 facts about General RAAM. This is a bit of a longer video, so let me know in the comments below whether you prefer the longer videos or a little bit of a shorter summarized version. Let me know below, and be sure to drop a like on the video and comment down below what you think of General RAAM, and don't forget to vote for your next character on the community tab of the channel. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, that would really help me out. Hope you guys have a nice day, and I will catch you on the next one.